Any questions from last time? Were you able to do the practice of what we did last time? Any questions? One or two places you would have got stuck. Later on, when I was doing or before sending it to you, I realized that a couple of places you would be getting stuck. Were you able to do it without a problem?
Yes, sir, it was. I have not done the entire thing, but I could not do the entire thing. But yes, till the place I have done, it was pretty okay.
Okay. So I think one area where you would be finding it a little difficulty, Tulya and Prasad, were you able to complete it?
No, sir, I had some internship work, sir, so I was doing that, sir.
No.
Previous class I didn't attend, sir, due to some health issues. I have to look it, sir.
Okay, fine, no problem. So let me just share my screen. And I also sent you a couple of, I also modified few charts so that you get a sense what can be a better visualization, although it is to everyone's taste. So when you're making a chart like this, what we were realizing was that on a year on year basis and quarter on quarter basis it was not coming correct, but month on month basis it was coming correct. Did you realize that when you were doing it last time as well? One of the issues that sometimes that can happen is Tableau automatically is not able to aggregate the way we think that it is getting aggregated. So because when you go to blends, edit blend relationships, and when we're suppose you're doing it with the budgets. Now we have only done month and category last time. What I realized that I was also thinking why year on year and quarter on quarter it is not stacking right, because we have not added year into the blends. If you're facing that kind of a challenge, you can also add year into the blend so that that issue will not come up after that. Second thing I want to kind of discuss with you is, suppose you are making different sheet and different sheet are having different files, okay, that where you want to create the blend. One of the ways that you can check where the blends are is first look at this particular thing which is saying primary data source. So in this particular case, the primary data source is detailed order, which is the sheet name, and from the file details store sales. And then there is secondary data sources. Now this is where you can check the blend relationships. Let me just show you. Right now it is showing the blend relationship between detailed order and budgets. So between these two files, the blend is being created at monthly, month, year, and categories. Now, if I want to see between detailed orders and competition orders, competitor order, the blend are created between month, region, and year. So these are the blends that are active. Now, suppose uh, there is another, I want to now see between budgets and competitor orders, is there any blend? So what I can do is I can go to budgets. Between budget and competitor, there is no blend, but between budget and detailed order, there are blends. So this is where you can see what are the blend relationship between various files that you are working on in a single Tableau, workbook. Clear? So this is how you can figure out the blend relationship, because once you're working with different data uh, files, then blends will become extremely important for you. Before we begin,
In
go ahead.
blend, sir, in blend we can keep month, quarter, year, everything together.
So whatever, yes, you can. So within the date format, you can keep everything. Say, for example, I go to data, blend relationships. Let me uh, add a blend here. I go to say order date. It will give various options. You can go up to day, you can go to week, you can put whatever you want as part of blend relationship. Suppose I say quarter and I go here and do quarter. Now there will be additional blend that will get created that is on quarter. Clear?
Sure, sir.
Sorry?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now I think the rest of so because of which in one workbook you can create lot of stuff. Now today we will move ahead and we will cover two new points before we go into the dashboard. Now let me just share one file with you. First, let me just show you and then I will share it onto the drive. Now this is another file that we have, which is having customer IDs, customer names, age, and their gender. So suppose this is another file, which is having customer ID, name, age, and gender. Now in our original file, we have customer name when in the order details. Now suppose I want to do age mapping, and this is another file that we have. So this is a new source that we can bring into our calculations. So let me just first close this and share this file with you. I'll just drop it in the chat box. This file is customer database. You can just download it. And let's move on to Tableau to move to the next point that we have to discuss. So let's quickly do a revision what all reports that we have created already. We have region-wise sales and compared with the competition sales figures. Then we also checked seasonality. Now here I have for competition, just to make it visually a little better, I have put this thing onto the bars, and for competition I have used a area chart. This particular chart is called area chart, and I have reduced so what I've done here is I have put them onto the area chart. So here I can shift between the two different charts on the left hand side in the marks. And in the area chart, I have reduced the opacity of this so that it does not interfere with our visualization, but it also gives a good reference point. If I increase it, it will darken the chart, but that may not look better. So I have reduced it so that we just need it for a reference. That how the month on month us versus competition we have fared. Then we move on to month on month. Now sometimes this orange to some people may look very bold and on the face. Here again, if you want to reduce, you can reduce the opacity so that it becomes a little softer. One second. Not the line one. Line is dark is fine. I go to the bar chart and reduce the so that it becomes a little softer on eyes. Then we looked at, so this is on a trend line month on month, us versus competition sales. Then we looked at, here again I have used the area chart for to look at category wise sales versus target. So target is on the area chart and our sales is on the bar chart. Because last time we have used the line chart. Last time what we finally made was for target we actually made the line chart. But sometimes it becomes a little difficult to read, so I converted this into a area chart so that the reference is much easily visible. Yeah. And we have also created, if you remember, filters on segments and highlighters on categories. That's what we did last time. Then we looked at percentage achievement for over 200%. And for this, what we used, we used the range on the bar on the right hand side. Then we did profitability analysis where we used a different kind of a chart, which is a polygon chart. Again, we have put segments both on filters as well as on highlighter. And we also put a highlighter on categories. So this is what we did last time. And we finally concluded with a profitability map where we have put the profitability onto a map with average profitability on the color shading. If you look at on the right hand side, average profitability is on the color shade. We also have population in the background, and we formatted it into a percentages by going to format the values. And we also have put filters on segments as well as categories. And we have also put highlighters on segment and categories on this map. So we have all the possible combinations that are there. What I asked you to do, also see if we can bring in the Asian population onto this map. If you're able to do it, very good. Otherwise, let us try to do it now. What we have to do is we can go to map and we can go to map layer. As we go to map layer on the left hand side, you will see layers, various layers. So let us see where we can get it. Layer population. Okay, on population, we can see population male, female, population by race, and we can say Asian population, and put it onto the green color. Because we have average profitability there. So we have added this layer. And we can wash out the rest of the background on the map by the wash out option. So it will fade out the background. We are good. And if we suppose, since we already have percentages mentioned in these colors, so right now what we have done is we have used percentage on the colors as well, and we have used percentage on the labels as well. So both are not required. What we can do is we can use Asian population on the colors, and percentages are anyway visible. Percentage profit is visible on the labels. So what I can do is I can remove average profitability, and maybe I can bring in This is not required right now. Mm, okay, let it be for now. Mm, I can go to background. So the layer has, there is a layer on the left hand side, and then what we can do is we can go back and put profitability percentage into our colors back to margin. Okay, and change the color coding. So we can just correct the color coding as we did last time. Just give me a second. We were using, I think this one. No, not this one. Okay, so this has to be made. So whenever you're dealing with percentage things like that, you have to just ensure that you go back to average. Okay. Now what we are moving ahead and going on to a new thing that I'm going to explain you, which is around bins and parameters. Now, people who have already done analytics will know what bin is. Now, for Prasad, he may not be fully aware what the bin is. So let us understand that a little bit. Now, suppose I take I want to bring in age from another file where the customer age and genders are mentioned. Okay. And I want to do analysis around what is the profitability that the organization generate for each age group. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll really bring in another file, new data source, customer database, and there is only one sheet in this, so that got activated. So we are good with it right now. I can come to this sheet. Now you will see instead of 3 files, I now am working with 4 files simultaneously on the top left. Now we are working with 4 files simultaneously. Let me activate another one. Now let me first create some blend relationships. Okay, I go to edit blend relationships and let me change primary source to our original file, which is detailed order, and secondary source to customer database sheet 1. And currently the blend is at customer name. You know, customer name, the blend is already created, so we are good with it. So Tableau has anyway created that blend on customer name because customer name is there in both the files, and that is where it is connecting the two files right now. The files which is detailed orders and the customer database. Now I go to say age. I'm picking up age from here, although age is there in that file also, but just to explain you that how you deal with multiple files, I'm bringing the age from here. Okay. And I also bring in the profitability. So let me just first bring in the profitability from that file. Profit percentage. So profit percentage, as you know, cannot be 1200 because that is it is picking up the sum of profits. I have to change it to average profit. Now it looks like more like it. Average profit of 12.03%. Now I go to that file and bring in age. But before I bring in age, I have to see whether the blend is created or not. So on customer name, it is it's a broken link. So I activate this blend. Now it is red. Now the blend is activated. And I bring in age. As soon as I bring in age, now let me just make some corrections here because it is first let me convert it into a bar. This bar is coming like this. So let us do some corrections here. Now let us figure out what is required. First, I go to analysis and I remove aggregates. And then once we have removed aggregate, it is still not come up properly. So let me just take this and make it to dimensions. So now what I have done here is why I have made it dimensions, because in the original form, it was taking it as a measure. Okay. But for now, we don't want to use it as a measure, but a dimension. Because for every age bucket, we need to understand how the average profitability is moving. So I'll change the nature of that data point right now. Now you will see it is saying that for age group age of 17, the profitability is minus 9.65%, and then there are various profitabilities here. What I can do is I can just go back and also bring in profit percentage into colors so that we are able to see how the profit percentage is moving. But this color coding right now does not look correct because the bars are higher on the right hand side, but they are fade in, lighter in color, and the bars in the middle are more stronger in color. Any thoughts why it could be happening? Why this visualization could be wrong right now? Ideally, bars on the right hand side should be much darker because they're taller.
So you can go in. Your voice was disrupting.
Sorry?
So your voice is disrupting with your network. Can you go again?
You want me to ask the question
I didn't
again?
get it. Yeah, I didn't get the last explanation.
Okay.
Yeah,
So my
the
question
network
is,
little.
no problem. So my question is, as soon as I put profit percentage into colors, although the colors have color shading has come, but it does not seems correct because you will see there are taller bars on the right hand side of this chart, but which are the tallest. Ideally, they should have the darkest color. But right now, the colors in the middle are the darkest, which are not the tallest. Why you think this visualization could be going wrong at this stage? Why do you think that the middle bars are showing the darkest colors? Whereas if you see the legend on the right, it is saying that, currently the profit percentage is varying from -1% to 80. Why this could be happening?
I think because of the higher number of employees in that age.
Because higher number of?
Like employee from age 30
No,
to
this is not employees.
30,
This is the
40.
profitability of the customers.
In form of a, it is
So for
only
every age,
in
we have
the x-axis it shows that it is the age, right?
age. Under each age, what is the average profit that it is generating? Now, as soon as you hover over this, you will see there's something happening here. Let's take this one. It says this is age 32, profit
Percentage
percentage
is higher.
0.1, profit percentage 0.19, and profit percentage 80.71. Now there are two profit percentages are coming. Whereas we have put only one profit percentages in our rows.
So how these two profit percentages are coming?
That's what I'm asking. Because the second profit percentage, it is picking up from the colors, from the marks. Okay, which means there is a mismatch between profit percentage in the row shelf and in the colors. Now, whenever you're dealing with numerical data, always remember there could be issue in the way, because it's a measure, the default setting is sum. Okay? Although we correct it to average in the rows, but we have to also correct it here. You have to go to measures and it is taking the sum. You have to also, because we are working on average profit and not sum of profit. Now you will see the color coding has got corrected, and now there is only one profit percentage that is coming. Whenever you're dealing with measure, you have to be very careful that it will by default take sum. You have to change it to average. Especially in this particular case where we are looking for average profit for each age group. Now it is very difficult to read. So now if I ask you, what should be our strategy? Which age group to go for? From a marketing point of view, because we know when we are selling the products, the profit percentage for each age group is varying. So which age group to go for? Just give me a second, someone has to go. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, people who have done analytics should be easier for them to identify.
32 to 40.
I also think from 32 to 40, because in long term it will generate a higher profit.
Yeah, so it is very difficult to optically see this. So what can we do?
We can create a bin.
Absolutely.
Bucketing.
Yeah, we can create a bin, isn't it? So to create a bin, what we can do is we can, so we'll create age bins. So what is binning? So Prasad, the binning is we bring a particular group together and look at it as one. Say, for example, you may say, I want to look at 20 to 25 as one group, 25 to 30 as another group, 30 to 35 as another age group, 35 to 40 as another age group, 40 to 45 as another age group. Okay, so these are called as bins. You are grouping them together into a bin. Now, there are technically right ways of creating bins, and that we have studied in the analytics program. What are the right way of creating bins? There are three methods. If you remember what we learned in analytics, there are three methods of creating bin, which was equal width, domain knowledge, and what was the third one? Equal width, domain knowledge, quartiles. Third approach was quartiles. You know, you use quartile method, equal width method, or domain. So we are not getting into that right now. We will just use our domain knowledge right now. And in Tableau, you can make it more iterative. So let me explain you how. So first, let's create bin. So where are we picking age from? We are picking age from customer database. This is where we are using age. So what we will do is, uh, show you properly. Don't worry, we will do it. So what we will go to, we go to age. Okay. We go to age, go to create, and there's an option called as bins. So we create a bin. So this window will open. So we have to first name it. Suppose we name it age bin. So we are creating a new variable called age bin. So it is saying size of the bin. So it is giving you a suggestion. What should we statistically write size of a bin? Suppose I said we don't want this, we want to make it much easier. I said size of the bin 5. Okay. The minimum value is 17, maximum value is 64, which is fine. And I just say okay. So what will do it? It will create the bins of 5 years. And you will see there is a age bin got created, but age we have already used in our columns right now. So we have to first get rid of that because age is the variable that we have seen for which the chart is already created. So we'll just get rid of age for a minute and then create the bin again. So this, I go to edit. So, okay. Let me just get rid of profit percentage also. Let me try age bin. Okay. Data. Okay, profit percentage is in color as well. Just clear that off. Now let's see if it works. Yeah, now it has worked. Now we go back to bringing the profit percentage. Make it average. Average profits. We don't want the sum of profits, we want the average profit. Also, aggregations is off. Measure average profit. And now we go to, you will see the blend relationship is broken. We just connect the blend relationship once again. And if we connect it again, it is taking away age bin. So there could be wrong in the blend relationship. So let us revalidate the blend relationship first. Go to data, edit blend relationship between detailed order and this thing. So this is also fine, no problem here. Now let us see what could be going wrong. Remove this. Age, edit. Yeah. Now let's take each bin here. Go to detailed orders. Blend. Let's create the blend again. Now pick up the profit percentage and see whether it works. Yeah, it worked. Now there's an issue here. All the bars are same height. Now why this could be happening? Let's try to troubleshoot this. First, let's see whether the age is on average or not. Sorry, the profit is average. So now this is corrected. Now it at least come to 0.12, which is fine, but the bins are not looking correct. So we go to age bin and see what's the nature of this data it is currently picking. So I go to this file and see what's the nature of age bin. So it is a discrete data, age is a continuous data. So let's try to make it continuous. Yeah, now it is working fine. Now, and I also bring the age bin into profit percentage into colors. So that is what will be visually better. Profit percentage into colors. Now again, you will see the same error. The middle ones are darker because when we have put profit percentage into colors, it would have taken the sum of profits. And why sum of profits could be higher than average profit? Because more number of people would be in these middle age buckets of 35 to 40. And that is where it would be showing a much darker because it is taking the sum. I change it to average. Now it is correct. Now you will see these are blocks of 5 each. Age bin 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So they are binned now. If you want to change the bin from, say, instead of 5, you want to make it 10. You can always go back to bin and edit the bin. You will see the maximum age bin of 60 is having 22% profit. You can bring the profit percentage to legend if you want, the labels, so you can see them. Again, these are getting added as sum. Label, I also change it to average. Now these are in decimals, so I want to see it in percentage. What I will do, I'll go to labels and go to format. I go to format, go to numbers, and now change it to percentage without decimal. Now we are done. Now it's looking much neater. We can just increase the size a little bit if you want. And increase the size to 12 so that you're able to see it much clearer. Yeah. We can go ahead. Now you will see this is looking much better and it is binned. So let me just pause here and see if the binning is clear to you. How do you create it? If you want to create it, want to take 2 minutes, create it, please do it. Similarly, you can create, filters on segments, categories, things like that. All those options, you can do it here as well. Clear so far? Atulya, Prasad, are you getting it? Shall we move
Yes, sir.
ahead?
Yes,
You
sir.
want
Yes,
me
sir.
to wait?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, sometimes there is also a need that suppose I want to change this bin. Okay. Only option that I have to go to bin, edit bin, and modify it to say 10. Okay. So let me just show you. If I want to modify it, I go to my file, age bin, go to edit, and instead of 5, I make it 10. Now it will give you me the bins of 10. Here we go. Now that is bins of 10. But the power of Tableau is it should be iterative by the user. How do we make it iterative by the user? That is done by changing the bins into parameters. So let me explain you what is parameter. Let me first go back to make it 5. Now to create parameter, what I can do is I just go and say create a new parameter. So when you say create calculated field, just below that you see a button called as create a parameter. So let me show you what I'm doing, and then I'll explain you what the role of a parameter is. I'll say create parameter and say let me just name this parameter as age parameter. Since I've already made a parameter earlier, so let me just name it age parameter 1. And since we are dealing with integer, and say I'll say current value at 15, and I want to make it with the range. Okay. Now this current value 15, you can keep 15, 20 depending on where you want the current cursor to be. And once it is complete, you will understand what the parameter will be doing. Now parameter will help you change the bins without going into edit bins. Let me explain again. Parameter will help you change the bin on the screen itself without going into edit bins. So it will give you a user interface to change the bin. And that user interface is called parameter, and that is what we are creating right now. Okay. Now I say the minimum value should be 5, maximum should be 25. Because we are having 60, total range is 17 to 67. So 25 से बड़ा bin तो कोई बनाएगा नहीं, और 5 से छोटा bin नहीं कोई बनाएगा. If you think that someone can make a bin less than 5 also, and someone can make bigger than 25, so this is the range that you want to play with. And I want to it increases in the steps of say 5. It will now give you, so let me just stop here and tell you what I'm doing. It will now give us the flexibility of change a bin. Bin can be created of 5, 10, 15, 20 or 25. Why I'm saying 5, 15, 20, 20, 25? Because I have given a step size of 5. If I give step size of say 2, and I keep minimum and maximum at 5 to 25, it will now give me flexibility of 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So it will give that kind of a binning flexibility to me. Let me just keep it simple and say 5. And I say OK. Now you will see under the parameter, the new parameter got created called age parameter 1. That's the parameter that we created. But this parameter now we are not able to see it on the screen. How do we see it on the screen? I go to age bin. And now I edit it one final time with the parameter. I edit. Now it says what is the size of bin? Earlier we have said 5. If you go to the drop down here, the parameters will show. And suppose I want to use age parameter 1 as an option. As soon as I say age parameter 1 and I say hit OK. So it has started with 15 because you remember I said current value 15. So that's the reason it started with a bin of 15. Okay, it is started the bin of 15, and on the Parameter. Let me also show parameter here. Show parameter. So on the right hand side, you will see it is showing a parameter with a cursor. You know, there is a track, track mover here. I change it to 10. I can change it to 5. So it is changing in the multiples of, and I can also increase it to say 20. I can also increase it to 25. Yeah. So this is a flexibility of a parameter, because parameter will help you change the bins basis your requirement on the screen itself. So this is a functionality where you can use bins and parameters. Let me just pause and see if it is clear to you. Any questions? Prasad, are you able to connect?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shall we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
So now what we are going to do is, now we are going to convert this into a report. Now all this information, so let me just name this file. Age wise profitability. If you want to create gender wise profitability, you can do that as well. You can just take gender. That's simple. You can just create a simple pie chart. I say gender, and I say profitability. Let me just do the connection once again. You can either show it on bar. Again, profitability average. Male and female are together. Dimension, analysis, aggregate. Okay, so this is 11.98 and 12.0. So there is no difference. They are actually the same, 11.98 and 12. So we can just remove it. We don't want this chart. Okay, so we are good. Now we will convert it into a report. Okay. So for creating it into a report, first we will see how do you create a dashboard. Now let us first revisit and see what should be a good information to go into a dashboard. Now what is a dashboard? Dashboard is a picture at a glance, where what all information you want to see it on one, on a picture at a glance. How many charts you want to see it together? Okay. Now let us pick and choose that we want and that we don't want. So let us say region-wise comparison. Maybe yeah, we can have region-wise, and this is seasonality. I think seasonality is more relevant than region. Then month-on-month trends. Month-on-month trends may not be required, may be required. So these are the calls that you will have to take. Category-wise, sales versus target. I think this we can keep. Percentage not required. Profitability, yes, we can have it. Profitability map, we can have it. And age-wise profitability, we can have it. So ideally in one dashboard, and it is very personal preference, let me tell you, I want to keep the dashboard light. What happens is generally when the training is done and when you see Tableau dashboards on Google, you will see very complicated and fancy dashboards. Okay, but from a management reporting point of view, it does not make sense. The less crowded the dashboard is, the better it becomes. But since we're practicing, let me show you both the options. that how to, first let's understand how to create a dashboard. Okay. Now let's go to a dashboard. So by adding a new sheet, you will see this, new sheet plus button. Next to that, you will see a dashboard button, and it is kind of a square grid. So, it's kind of multiple sheets coming together. So you click on a new dashboard, a window like this will open. Once this window open up, you will see all the sheets that you have created are appearing on the left hand side. First job is to correct the canvas, because this canvas is not correct looking on a full screen, so you can use more space. I go to the size, increase the width a little bit, so that I am able to cover my entire screen. Okay. Then, so this is done. Before we start picking and choosing, let me just show you there is a tiled and there is a floating. The most preferred way to begin once you're starting it, use tiled, because it will give you prefix positions of each of these sheets into the dashboard. So let's better go with tiled right now to begin with. And let's bring in the sheets that we want to put on the dashboard. The map, let's first bring in the map. Okay, so we have the map. Now let us add age-wise profitability. Once again, I think some of the reason, right? Let's go to the dashboard. What I've done is I brought age-wise profitability. Then let me bring, so whatever I'm bringing, it is getting tick marked on the left-hand side. Let me get profitability analysis. Let's see if it becomes too crowded here. Slightly crowded. Let me just take it on the, okay, so let's keep it for now. Then let me just bring in seasonality. Suppose these are the 4 charts we want. Okay, you can add as many as you want, but only issue is as you keep adding more and more, it will become busier and busier. Suppose these are the 4 charts I want to deal with. Now you can adjust the sizing as well. Suppose let me just make few changes here to look at little better. Just give me a second. This is slightly busy. So what I can do is just remove it for a minute and bring in below the map. Okay, and now I will increase the size of it a little bit. So you can adjust these tiles. That's the advantage of these tiles to have, so that you can adjust them the way you want to see it. So you can adjust these like this. Now let me tell you some more functionalities around it. Now you will see it has picked up all the filters and highlighters on the right hand side. But it has become too busy. So you can just remove some of them which are not required, because some are getting repeated multiple times. For example, categories. Since categories are there on the highlight, categories are there, and I want to keep only on the highlighter. Segment is on the filter twice, so I can remove it for Same is highlight segment, highlight category. Since I have category highlighter here, I can remove the category highlighter in the entry highlight segment. Highlight segment is also multiple types. I can just clean a few of them. Average profitability, color shading. Okay, I can keep it. Asian population, I can remove it for now. Okay. Profitability percentage, color shading. Okay. Each bin required. Measure name. This is unwanted information. We can remove it. Highlight segment. Highlight category. Okay. Okay. Segment. Highlight. Highlight. Profitability. Okay. I can take this so that all the filters are together. Filters are at the top, then there are colors, and then there are categories. So since categories on highlight here, this is not required. Now few more changes that I would suggest here. When you're doing categories, so when you're doing, filters, there are a few options that you can choose. Okay. If you go to filter, so if you go to filters, you will see there are multiple ways in which you can show filters. You can show it as a single list value. Currently, it is given as a multiple list value. You can also use this as a drop down. You can use it as a slider. Yeah. And you can use it multiple value drop down and things like that. So for example, I say I want to use it as a slider. You will see it will save space and it will come as a slider, but only challenge here will be you can see all the values. So you can now with this you can pick and choose what makes better sense to you. Suppose I use it as a drop down in the filter and I click it, I can see what I want to use as a filter. Same is, so here I'm giving you some options to make it a little better from a visual point of view. Multiple value drop down. Change it to multiple value list. Multiple value list. So everything is there. Now, if I want to bring in my logo also in this, I want to bring in my logo. So what I can do is I just go on the left hand. So what we have done is we have first sized it, remove unwanted stuff from this. Now I want to bring in some image or a logo so that I can add it to this dashboard. So I can go on the left hand side. There are objects, which is blank, navigation, extension, web pages, images, text, all that you can bring in here. Suppose I want to bring in image. I pick up image and drag it to this bottom corner, which has some space left here. And it will open which image you want. I can choose it. Suppose I want to bring in my logo. And I want to make it fit image. You'll see my logo is appearing on the bottom right. If you want to change the position of this, you can always change the position of it, where you want to keep it. If you want to bring in a text box, whatever, you can do it here. Now let me just name this dashboard. Say strategy dashboard. So this is strategy one dashboard. We have named this dashboard. Now we will go to the option of dashboard on the top menu. So go to option of dashboard on the top menu. Let me just first show you. Let's start with say device layout. So I can choose what where people are going to see it on the desktop or on the tablet. You can change it. Or on the phone. You can choose any of the layouts and that will reflect on the left hand side. So this is currently on the default. I go to say phone. On phone, this is how it will show up. You can change the layout and the setting thereof. Right now, let's be on default. And once suppose you want to make it adaptive to mobile phones, you can always do that. I want to show dashboard title, which is strategy bar, which will come at the top. Uh, Now, one most important thing that I'm going to do, how do I make this dashboard interactive? Interactive means connect with each other, each files that is mentioned here on this dashboard. So what I'll do is click each one of them, and there is a button called as use as filter. I just hit that. It will get highlighted. Use as filter, use as filter, use as filter. Now what is the advantage of making this as use as filter? Uh, Advantage here is suppose I want to see only this age group of 60 to 65. You know, so one second. This one link. So now all these files will get linked to each other. Suppose I say home office in furniture. As soon as I click home office in furniture, all the other sheets will change accordingly. If I say segment of corporate in furniture, so the uh, all the other charts will start changing accordingly. Suppose I say uh, I want to see only segment it is picking. Office. California. So let's say I go to South California. The charts will start changing on its own. Furniture category. Uh, Suppose I want to use filters. I only want to see all charts for from consumer segment. So all charts for consumer segment will start showing here. The values will change only to consumer segment. I want to see consumer and corporate together. The charts will start changing to that accordingly. So this is how you can connect your charts by use of filters. Let me just revalidate if filters are used properly. Use as filter, yes. Mm, Let me show you. So let me just pause here and see if this is clear till here before I show you some more functionality. Let's see if this size class for. Yeah, clear so far? Are you okay how to make dashboard?
Yes, yes, sir.
Praveen, Atulya? And then, it is up to your visualization how you want to, really beautify it and add more elements to it. But I generally prefer a lighter dashboard, and I'll tell you why after the break when we go to the storyboard. Yeah. All right. And, suppose you want to bring in you want to write something as part of your notes. Okay. So you can always bring in a blank cell from here and, add it. Here you can write your own text and things like that. Or if you want to keep the space blank, you can do that. If you want to add a text box, bring the text into a text box, write whatever you want to write it, and it will appear here. All those flexibilities are there with you. Yeah. So I think let me just say layout, if everything is covered or not. Let me see if I missed any important point. Okay, I think we are good. I think broadly we are covered. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take a short break now, and we'll be back. So it's 8:07 in my watch. Let's be back at 8:15, 8-minute break, and continue a discussion on storyboard. Let me put the count on timer. All right, see you in 8 minutes. Okay, are we back?
Yes, sir.
Now there are some additional functionalities that you can consider in your dashboard when you're making it. If you go to dashboard, you will see some options. One is show grid. Uh, some organization, or some people like to present it with a grid. Now, once you make something like this, it will give you a faint grid at the background. I don't know whether you're able to see it on the screen or not. It gives a grid. It gives you a notebook kind of a background.
Yes,
The checkered notebook.
it is reflecting.
Yeah. So that is grid, and you can also adjust the size of this grid. You can make the grid size bigger or smaller depending on your taste. Yeah.
But
I like it without.
personally, I don't like grids.
Even I don't like it, but that option is there. Now, a lot of organization, and sometimes it, just to make it look better, what you can also do is you can add a background color if you want. So if you go to formats, mm, the- right now I have added a color. I have added a shading at the background. If you want to uh, change the title font, I want to make the title bolder, and I want it in my colors. You can do that. Otherwise, leave it black. This call is purely yours. You can change the font. You can do, whatever you feel right. So these options are available on this sense, on the format options. If the tile shading you want with a different color than the overall background, you can do that also. The tiles will stand out. These these options are purely up to your taste and choice. And you will see a lot of options here, depending on. So a lot of people, I personally like to use my brand colors or white. Okay. And then the alignment. Suppose you want the alignment to be centered, horizontal alignment. So all those options you can manage it from here. Uh, so this is on the dashboard. Let me just see any other important tiles we have done. Auto update, full layout, dashboard. Then you can also have more than one dashboards created. You can have more than one dashboards created. That choice is purely yours. Okay. Say for example, you only want to create a dashboard on competitive analysis. Sorry, this is not a dashboard, or a sheet. Competitive analysis. Let me just increase the width and bring in only the relevant files, which is region wise and season wise. So these are the only two charts I will bring, which is region wise us versus competition, season wise us versus competition. You also have month on month trends. If you want to bring that in, region wise, season wise, month on month. So this could be one dashboard which is only mapping the competition right now. Okay. Similarly, you can have one dashboard which is only target versus achievement. Okay. You can have, say, category wise sales versus target and achievement percentage. You can have multiple dashboards. So, for example, target versus achievement. You can have one on that, and you can just remove some of the things that are not required, which are extra. You can have multiple dashboards, and then we go to, and once you're sure that okay, fine, these are the dashboards that I wanted. Now let me create a storyboard. Now, what is a storyboard? Storyboard is like a presentation that you are giving to management. Let me, towards the end, you will see a book icon, which says create a new storyboard. As soon as you go to a new storyboard, all your sheets, worksheets, and dashboards will start appearing here. All the worksheets and dashboards will start appearing on the left-hand side. Now, let me first start the story by, let me just name the storyboard. Uh, touch management. Suppose that is the name of my storyboard, and I create the first. I just create the cover. This is my cover, and I'll just say drag. Let me just create one more dashboard which I can drag here because I just want text. Is we just write a text which is say ProTouch management report. Increase the font size to 72. Use my brand color. Okay. Then I also want to bring in my logo. And I can use horizontal type. Just making some adjustments. The overall look and feel of the presentation. Okay. This is my cover. Let me just adjust the size also. Now this will appear in our storyline as well. This dashboard, I just bring it here. Increase the size of the storyboard. Layout. Yeah. Now we are good. So this is, let me just adjust the height also a little bit because there is a scroll bar coming at the left and right hand side, which may not look very good. I'll just reduce the height a little bit so that everyone comes on one page. Let me just adjust the height from here. Yeah. So this can be adjusted through this adjustment of height and width on the main dashboard. So this will take a little bit of cosmetic changes. They take a little bit of time. but once you practice, you can do it. Now the scroll bar is stopped. Now it is looking neater. Now there is no scroll bar, so the story will come much better. Now this is one second. Where is the story gone? Okay, where is I created this was a management. There we go. Increase the width. Reduce the height. Yeah, now we are fine. And this is our cover page. So this is our cover page. Now we add pages into our story. What we will do, we will new story point, add a blank page, or we can duplicate the pages as well. I want to first bring in the competition analysis. So we bring in this dashboard first. And now again, you can adjust the height, width, depending on how you want it to be. Okay. So that changes that I've told you, you can do it when you're practicing so that everything comes on one page. And I can name this sheet as analysis. Add a new page, and I call it as say, target versus achievement. Now these target versus achievement is not looking proper here because the width and here is not adjusted. Let me adjust the width here a little bit. You will see it will get automatically corrected in this sheet as well. So this goes, you can adjust the height. And then we add another, and say, I now bring in my strategy sheet, which is the thing that we created first. Overall strategy. Overall strategy 1. Now suppose I want to bring in some standalone sheets. I only want to bring in the month-on-month performance. Bring in the month-on-month performance. Now, this is how you can create a overall storyline. Okay? And you can add the sheets, things like that. Suppose I want to also show blank and say category wise perform. No, not category wise. Add a new black and this polygon. Which I say, suppose I say marketing strategy. Now you are creating a storyline which you are adding sheets after sheets. Now, once you go to presentation, suppose you have made it, you have saved it, you can present straight from here. And suppose you start with the cover page, go to competition analysis. You can also use the tracker here. Move to target versus achievement, move to overall strategy, and you have to adjust the heights and the width so that it fits into one page. So let's say overall strategy 1, it's an important chart for us. Let us adjust this. Just give me a second. That is one. Height first. Let us see whether on the management report it is looking correct or not. Yeah, so height is adjusted properly. Now let's adjust. Broadly, it is coming fine. So this is how you can adjust. Another important thing that you can do here is if you go to editing the story, you can format from here. Few things that you can change. First is the shading. Do you want any background shading to be done so that your presentation area, the slide area, is separated from the other part of the sheet? That's one thing that you can do. For example, I have changed the background so that my presentation area is now standing out. That's one thing that you can do from here. You can obviously change the fonts, alignment, and things like that. Navigation shading, all this is fine. So this is one thing that you can do. Other thing on the story you can do is format copy. Just close this and show you the layout. Now, from a layout point of view, what you can do is these sheets that are coming, you can either have the name of those sheets or you can have numbers. Now you will see that this bar has changed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So people are not distracted. They are only seeing the slide numbers at the top. If you don't want to see numbering also, because people may say, okay, there are the 3 to go, 4 to go. If you don't want to have that as well, you can just have dots. You can just have dots and you can keep scrolling from here. Or you can have arrow which says 1 oblique 1. So suppose I go to dots and I don't show arrow. So which means I have to manually click which one I want to click. If I show arrow, there will be up and down arrow or the right and left arrow that will show up. So this is how you can change your presentation area as well. I prefer these dots or the numbers because this looks much cleaner rather than showing the entire name of the tile. And you can have more than one storyboard, more than one dashboard, more than one sheets, all on the same file, all coming on the same file.
We can add a story also. That
Yeah, you can.
present.
Yeah, you can have multiple stories. Suppose I click here, the new story will get added. I can have as many stories, as many dashboards, so suppose you want to have multiple presentation, one for management, one for managers, all can come from the same file. You don't need to create different files.
So story means like the presentation. What one thing
Yeah,
is
that is a
I
story.
have
That is a
to.
story.
Okay, so here we have captured only dashboard, and if I want to write a summary on that, what is the outcome of this and what can do better. So if I want to write something, we can do that also.
Yes, you can do that also. There are some automations also available in Tableau where it will write on its own. It will give you some indications on its own. Okay, that is also possible. But if you want to write, you can write. Say, for example, so give me a use case. Suppose this is, let's go to this one. You want to write something here, you are saying?
Yes, like if I want to write something here,
Okay, fine. Your
that we
comments.
have. Yeah, comment like
Yeah.
in the
So
central we have done pretty well and we need to start something.
fine. So yeah. So what you can do is you can go to say this particular dashboard, which was competition analysis, and I bring in a text box here and make my comments.
Okay.
So I'm just making one note so that I will be able to show you. One second. Increase the size to 14. My brand color. Is little darker. Yeah, now we have a uh, yeah. So we have created. This is what you are asking for.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You can have and it should, and once you change this here, it will automatically change your storyboard. It will automatically. The advantage is whatever modifications you're doing in your reports, the storyboard will automatically update it because they're all linked.
Right, sir.
Clear so far, friends? Any questions?
So, sir, if we want to share this, so we can only share this in a Tableau file, or we can just export this in a PDF or like
So we'll cover that.
CSV or
So how all you can extract it and share it. We were going to cover that in detail.
something.
Now, other advantage here is whatever changes will happen now. Uh, if you're on the paid version, let me just take a minute. If you are on a paid version, let me just go to the data sources. One second. Yeah. You will see there are two buttons here, live and extract. Okay. If you go to data sources, there are two buttons, live and extract. If your connection is on live, which means it will keep taking the live data. If I make any changes in my Excel file, all my sheets, dashboards, and storyboard will get updated. Okay, so let me just give you one small example here. Let us go to, let me see where it will be much easily visible to you. Let's take month-on-month trends. Let me just open a file. You open an Excel file. Okay, let me. So what so let me just keep the Tableau screen only on you and let me just verbalize it, what changes I'm doing. I've gone to my Excel sheet and let me just see target versus achievement. Yeah. Category wise, target versus achievement. Okay. Now what I'm doing is on my Excel file, I'm changing the target of furniture segment for January 11. I've just made it 0. And competition data, data sources. So you'll see for the month of furniture, January, the value, the area chart does not exist. It has gone to 0. Let me just put some value there so that you are able to see some changes. Are you able to see, friends, what changes happen? In January, there is no value. Let me just change it to $100 instead of, so that there is a shade that has come up. Let me just change it to $1,000. So I'm just updating the Excel file and saving it. So I just made changes in my Excel and I've changed here. Go to data source. I just refresh it because it is taking the live data from there. You'll see that area chart has now. So this is another advantage because your data will change every minute, every hour, every day. Okay. And if it is linked to the right sources, whatever changes are happening will automatically change all your storyline, your dashboards, your sheets. So provided you are on live. But if you are making a report, sometimes what can happen, you are making a report from a live data source because you don't have enough capacity to save those files, and sometimes you may have to use a live data source to create your dashboards. One second, it has not changed to original. Hmm. Yeah. So let's go to data. So sometimes you may be working on files which are coming from the live sources, and you have created the dashboard. If you go to extract, that dashboard will get extracted and you can save it, so that that extracted file, no matter what changes you are doing to your dashboard after that, will not impact your dashboards because you have extracted it and it is no more live. So all changes in your live data streams will not impact your dashboard if you are on extract. This feature will not be available in a public version, but if you are on a paid version, you will see the option of live and extract. Because a lot of times what may happen, uh, you may download a Tableau file and send it to your colleague. Okay? And you are all using some cloud streaming to create the dashboard. If you have kept it on live and sent that file, whenever he will open the file, he may see a different dashboard because the data would have got updated. Okay. Second issue could be, if you want the storyline to be extracted as a static file, you can do that as well, which we are going to discuss a little more in detail in our coming sessions. Now, I think we have done with 4 sessions. Now it's a good time that you can start practicing it. I would like to hear from you, how would you like to practice it? So 2-3 options that we can work around. One is, I can give you some use cases with certain expectation of a report or the analysis, and you can come back to do it, and some parts of it we can do it in our upcoming sessions also. So how would you prefer? You would like to do it in the sessions, you would like to do it off the sessions? If you want to do it off the sessions, we can save 1 or 2 sessions. If you want to do it in the sessions, I am happy to do it in the sessions also.
It means that you will give us some case study, and we have to prepare the dashboards and the entire
Yes.
thing, whatever we
Yes.
have learned.
So
Till now.
whatever you have
So,
learned till now, you use all that to create the storyline.
so I think offline would be much better, so that we will get advantage of our learning. We can practice and learn what the
And
other
then in
says.
the class, we can discuss how it can be better. I can
Yes.
just share that with you, how it can be. What do you think, Atulya and Prasad? What is your preference?
Sir, I think we can do it in the class, sir, because we are having our internship period, and our semester will be commencing from Monday, sir. So that when we asking.
I see. So you want to do it in the class itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Atulya, what's your preference? Okay, fine. Then we'll do it in the class. No problem. So I will give you some homework also. If you can do it, you do it. And then we will do some part of it in the class, and then some additional learnings every session, because now onwards, it's more about practice. Because some incremental, techniques I'm going to do it, but large part of it is going to be practice from here on, so that you get comfortable. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So I think we can then, if you have any question, Prasad, from your side at this stage, Atulya.
No, sir. It's clear, sir.
All right. Okay, then we can end the session, and then I will see you on Tuesday. And in the meantime, I will try to send you one small case to begin with tomorrow, along with the data points, and give it a try by Tuesday.
Right.
So we'll start with simple case, and then maybe we can go with little more complicated cases.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right then. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.